with your life, you know. So people are like always stuck here. You're so kind of a man who's taking a step by step progress in everything. Yeah, you were sort of a little bit 2 years ago. You were a little bit different, you know, personality, right? Yeah. So how everything has been like working out to you? It's just continuous progress every day, and you're getting more smarter. Uh-huh. So, oh yeah. Okay. So you have yourself trying to like this American pronunciation instead of British pronunciation study. Your influence of your accent, you know, accent. Yeah. So is it more American than a British type accent? Okay. Um. Yep. We were talking 1 year ago, or what is the exact time? Last time when we were talk about that stuff, and well, I you know the pronunciation. You had those books. Yeah. So yeah, I saw. I did. I spent 5 hours one day only, but yeah. But hey, you get practice when you talk other people's. You don't need to like. Well, no, no, no. What? Uh, fluency. Okay, but what about if you never like speak any other language than English? How about is it even a little bit if you go live someplace like USA and UK? So what about then? I have seen some India people, and they have a still a terrible English Indian accent, and when they speak, and they have lived 3 years in US, and they still speak quite a lot like Indian, very fast, and they well they have an accent, of course, but it is easy to over understand them. Not every word, but they want a little bit come more Americanized about the accent. You know, when some person are born some country, they usually have depending if they like most of the time spent in a local area, they have like a native accent of that area, and the rest of the yeah. But if you know an Indian 25-year-old man go live in US, he will be have an Indian accent his life. However, if some Indian parents have a kids and live in the US, he can be have a different accent. The kid will be learn the yeah local accent. Yeah, it doesn't actually matter where you come from. You can anybody can, will learn to speak like that kind of accent if they just leave that country, no matter who, any human. Yeah. What? Okay. Hmm? Oh yeah. Hmm. Okay. So what is it? Yeah. I'll. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, that. Hmm? So what? That's a lot bit of I don't know Russian people speak like that. Well, Arab. Yeah. Ah. Right. Huh? Right. Right. It's a soft R. Nothing like a very very hard R. Uh, uh, yeah. Mate. Hmm? So he was surprised. Okay. Hmm? So you're able. Exact. Huh? Yeah. There's big deal if you example uh different stuff you take it from internet. Sometimes you watch like other movies, and you would like just different influence get instead getting one influence, you get so many different influences, and you have sometimes you speak there is a different words in American and British slang and dialect dialect. Well, I not talk about dialect about example here, and sometimes you pronounce it something like there is like the carriage, the gasoline station and petrol station. Okay, what is the English UK? A US and a UK version of the gasoline station, UK version. They don't say gasoline station, right? Do you notice? Yeah. So what they say in UK, the name for a gasoline station. So do you know about what is the word they use in the UK for the gas station? Okay. So okay, this was example. It was the petrol station, petrol. The word. Uh, um, okay, so pronunciation, however, what do you think about the some words differences about the example native English speakers when you know about sometimes use, say, the word about the native person couldn't tell the difference. And what are the big problem? The words for you. There's a lot of words you cannot really pronounce it, like you like a lose. The stuff is something like that you are incoherent or inconsistent about how you spell and pronounce those words. So that's what makes the difference. Mm? Yeah. Yes. Okay. T, t, and and yeah. and and the pause, the end, the and what, and then 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 together. Remember the uh re- e the 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 end, the end, and yeah, of course, the end. Mm-hmm. The end, the end, the end. Okay, I got the book. I got the book still at my hard disk, so I don't need it. Yeah, anymore. What? But I read it. What? Master. Yeah, but uh-huh. Okay. Well, hmm? You have to always just keep repeating. Sometimes you might uh unforget many things what you have even learned, and it's quite scary unless you always like a practice. You might be just a lose the grip. You get the rusty. You get a little bit. I what it's just so. Do you communicate in your job with English really, or every day? But is it still use more Saudi Arabian? Hmm? Yeah. So what are you doing now? Like you have free now. You're in home. Are you home? Are you in? Yeah, it's Friday. Yeah. Uh, Okay. Hmm? Yeah. About the Sunday. Oh yeah. So they want to keep a tradition of the old way. Yeah. Mm. Okay. Yeah. So with me, well, I'm just a little bit quite a different type of a guy, quite ambitious, quite a weird many times. When it comes to making a living, like getting in a regular job, I was talk about it. Do you remember what I said about this job thing here? Not really. It was a pumper, isn't actually a plump. So that actually was like what was this? What? Yeah, the part. What? Yeah. Excuse me. What about the? You mean about the hotel? A plump hotel? Yeah. Uh. Well, I don't know what you mean, but I'd say that it doesn't matter where you do this stuff around here. If you need to get like a job offer, whatever here. You get an education, and you're like a single, like a private. Yeah. Yeah. Well. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, I'm not like interested like okay, so I'm not job here. But I think about that, you're just too weird sometimes. I don't have things called reliability as a kind of a consistent character. I mean, they don't want a guy who just gets some kind of little bit, misbehavior or something. I have been fired for one job because misbehavior, misbehavior. It's mean about you behave against the ethics of the work. There are some rules, and if you just doing some stuff what they don't want you to do, you're out. Okay, you don't have problem. Yeah, stable person. They don't want an unstable person. I'm unstable. I'm unstable. It's I can get like my stuff together all the time. It's difficult to run. Yeah. Well, I think about there's always a lot different options around here. Well, I think about everything have a time, and you just gotta. Oh no, is there? You mean my priority? Okay. Yeah, I'm currently still just trolling around of the cities around here. But yeah, well, being more serious about it, really. Yeah, I think about every day becoming more understanding about what it really become a really like a normal human being. But it takes time here. Some people have a little bit slower progress. Okay, maybe one day, however, you are okay. Yeah, yeah. There's a deadlines that there has to be some kind of a really planning of your every day what happened next the thing, and you have to be really your future really plan very well about it. You're gonna be fall. Yeah, I graduated in this kind of a job. I know there was then college. Yeah, I graduated. I did got more. Yeah, but college was the deal about what's happening here. So when off the college to yeah, so the employers they pay the priority as some kind of college graduating, and that also the what you got your and the your degree. So it's very important that the labor market, whoever they want to, they always just want to make sure that it is the best, the guy who has the best education, achievement, success. They only are looking for what. So it's quite important. But there's also connections. There's other jobs around here. It depends. Yeah. I mean, it's quite a boring topic for me somehow, and not so. Yeah. So, yeah, this is some stuff about the local newspaper stuff here. It is like a newspaper, and there's some like a section where you can advertise your job, like this kind of freelance, a private, and you can like getting anytime any person can book you. You can be booked by they call your number, and if they need the case, and they just pay for as you go. They pay you if they think about your good about it. It's those most of their home people, the private families and houses who's booking you if they need about some kind of a cheap lumber here because they cost quite a lot. And I myself like are this kind of a freelance. Yeah. It, profit, you mean about you get more money when you like do the job than you like lose. I don't think it's profit. Yeah, I don't work for somebody else here. I'm working for myself only. Or mm, mm, just like a very minor or very just very little if any. Very little if any. Yeah, it's not something like a piece. It's not something like a profit in business. It's not like you getting rich doing that. You get only just getting a little bit more for. Yep, right. So, so what's about Excel? What? No, why there? Okay, sure. Why you don't try to go there? Okay. Um. Uh, yep. Yeah. And maybe you. Hmm. Well, it's not something like very easy to do. I don't know. There is a lot. You need to be a pass in some all kind of qualification if you ever get like a job that country. If you know anything. Yeah, but there is so much unemployment in that place that it's very difficult to ever getting like a move in there. And well, I don't know anybody's lazy. I think about the most laziest countries are some African countries maybe or laziest oration here. They are they're too busy other things here. There's a white collar and a blue collar. Do you know what is collar? It is some kind of shirt, and the people who are like engineering, cleaners, maintenance, janitors are blue collar. They are manual workers, manufacturers. White collar are people who are like bankers, teachers, managers, businessmen, and that separation of the. And they usually have a white shirt collar, but also suit. So that's it. When the people who is example at those other jobs, they use on uniforms, a blue uniform. Yeah, yeah. So it's separation. The people who are white collar, they are getting much better salaries because they are more educated and the most of the job is using their brains instead of manual. So it's people working with their brains. They usually have a computers, meetings, just talking. I don't know, mathematics. When the people who just are auto and use their hands around most of the time, and they just don't talk much less, and you know that stuff. So, have you been yourself to anything crazy stuff, or are you just so normal, average dude that you don't really get your kicks off? What do you do for, your country? You never get drunk around or anything stuff. You don't really. You're a good man, I guess, so kind of a. Uh, what is it? So what is it? Weather? It's just to try and warm. Okay, so when you're gonna get the Swedish chick yourself, you always dream to get some Swedish wife, right? What is it still up? Uh, uh-huh. So I met so many on real life these people just walking by. When you go outside, there is a quite a many there. Well, they have the personality. It's quite a very, 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 very difficult unless you're some kind of a top guy. So, yeah, okay, okay. hmm Yeah. Well, well, sometimes, yeah. I have to tell you about it. It happens, like. No, I haven't really. Yep. hmm And what about happens for you? Yes, most strict. And what happened? And there's a lot of widows. Some people are putting in Pole, and they are stoned to death, okay, so because they are stoning. They still use the rocks there, and public. Yeah. So, so have you been out of your country at all, like a place like a Dubai, which is like a neighbor country? Okay, so you like to stay one place, and because I mean that there is quite a lot of different. You Why not? Is it your mind, or is it just something else? Really? I think. Okay. Okay. Hey, listen. There's some stuff that you make mistake because some people when they are like a young and they all just working and studying and they never have a fun and they always just like in your countries everybody do exactly different. They always don't work really when they're 20 years. They just have a parties every day. People and they don't go to school and they just get a debt. They just borrow money and they pay when they are 30-year-old here or maybe 50-year-old, and they don't need to pay immediately anything. What they have borrowed, they can just have a and they get cars even. I mean, these people can get cars here, and they can like a 50,000 a dollar car and they can borrow that money from bank or whatever or even the families, occasionally they pay occasionally, and they pay when they are 50-year old. Think about that, you cannot do that, huh? Yeah, but everybody here are like have a, like a 1 million debt. Every guys around here because they get all the things, the houses, the where you live, and the cars and everything. They always just borrow from banks, okay, and they pay when they are and they pay when they're very old about the back, or if ever everybody is so debt. So that's the case. They never actually work for the money that they buy those things, but they borrow it. That's the difference. They never really work for. Yes, yeah, but they got a completely different system here. They have like you can pay in after 20 years when you have a job if you. It's crazy, Yeah, it's true, but yeah, you can have something. You can borrow, believe it, $100,000 and pay it if you have education, if you have already job yourself, which you can quarantine, that you can pay it back after 20 years. Think about that here in some kind of a, the bank here. Okay, okay, okay. So, yeah, but it's not surprised that there's always, those banks are getting bankrupt because of that stuff here. But the rules are so crazy about that here. Anyway, yeah, yeah. So, as I see about there, what other place you have been traveling because there's no TM server? What other internet, those websites or some kind of a, have you used anything that talks on a lot of people other side? Uh-huh. And okay, oh yeah. So how many contactees do you have in Skype now? The people you ever communicate? Uh, so still you have like a keep up the Skype always open? If there's like a, oh, okay. So I mean, because you're living in some kind of strict, restricted, a country where the culture is quite still kept to the tradition. I mean, it depends some kind of contacts in other countries. who are like changing about their opinions about the world and things about here. Maybe you can see about television and everything else, but you can't talk real people in here who are not living like your country, and you can like say learning some needless skills like speaking Polish. I mean, are you gonna ever use that skill? Does it matter for you? You like to just have a fun in a Skype there. You don't take too serious about like everything life have to be so serious. I mean, I know people who just do nothing else than just are serious everything. You know, they are very very strict. Maybe they're strict for the religion or strict for the job or the family, whatever here. And those people, they are really very, they're very inside themselves around there, and you never really can talk to those people. They just are the different reality then. Uh, these people are most intolerant. They're most occasion like people you really don't want to really have as your friends because they really don't care about anybody else than themselves or their stuff. So you're more open. You're more open-minded person than many other Saudis. Okay, you're living your family. They just continue their own stuff here and never really explore out of the the own culture. What do you know? Is there? So you use Facebook a lot, huh? Oh, I mean, many people really. You don't like those kind? Yeah, they always. What? No, I have like. Oh yeah. You know what? Uh, okay, I have myself like a 30, 30 number, a different account there on Facebook, because all of the fake names, the fake whatever, you can make fake names anything here, and they all are different. Some of them are very, and there's different personalities here. Just because I kind of like conning people, scamming people, maybe some money scamming, or you have the connection. I get okay, okay, I do some kind of illegal stuff here. You're yourself like a legal person. I mean, legal person. Nothing. Well, it's just you just bound to your rules about your lives. You don't want to really take a risk or something. Okay, so the point about you have all different personalities here. You have to have a different. You have a fake picture of your uh, in Facebook and fake everything. They believe you are a real person, and then they add you as a friend. You need to have a real life connections before you meet about it. So, example, you have your friends in a school and any friends, okay, you ever met real life, and then you can add them in Facebook. You can net add them like randomly. You never met before. He doesn't know who you are, so they don't know who you are really, and they don't want any stranger. Okay. it's the people want to be sure that they talk a real person. In internet, it's always like they they take us okay. They take more serious at a website. In TeamSpeak, they take very unserious. You know the difference between so yeah, and other things. Yeah, people use it for playing games as well. Yeah, talking about the communicate. Yeah, but very few people actually use it for talking. I mean, how many people really use that thing for talking? They use more like a Skype. They use more like uh, there is a lot of other kind of a programs actually. It's a VoIP voiceover. Um, yeah. Okay. The people don't. Most of people don't like to talk to some people who they do not know, like strangers, because they are too busy already, and they have no time. Maybe you have time because you're a little bit like have not so many guys, friends, and busy always watching something, doing something. You have more free time, and when the people just have already enough friends for them. I mean, it just if you have like a 100 friends, well, you need a 101 friend or a one more. They already have more than enough, unless you're like some super guy. So they don't want add more like strangers who are really not really important for their life, and maybe you're a little bit like a distraction, you know. You're like a more like some kind of a removing them from the important stuff here, and it's very important. Yeah, I mean, I'm quite a brain guy sometimes, or in the deep stuff, right? Deep stuff. So what kind of deep stuff you are interested of, right? Do you have any kind? So do you have some kind of things that really are really you have some passion, interest, and you do not really know something what you like to learn about the life or everything, you know? Is there something you have been wondering when you go like sleeping or daydreaming, you know? Some stuff, something, things. What is it? Uh huh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you don't go like in your pharmacy and some medication to antidepressant. If you're getting depressed, or some drugs. You do like taking some drugs, you know. They kind of like a change. Okay, so the people have different coping strategies how they can like get deal with the troubles, or they wanna sometimes like have a little bit relax their minds, and more importantly maybe escape it. Yeah, continue. So that's uh, okay. So what do you do usually like a weekend? You still watching a lot different shows. So you always watch some different shows. What are the shows you now watching like? Hmm? So you know what? Oh, I, n- no, sorry. I have no idea about it here. I don't keep up, any names here. So any names just really, 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 uh, my knowledge. Okay, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you don't wanna create yourself some stuff here. Some people you make videos and they make good money for it and just upload their home and they actually just edit all the time. As you know, they just talk some random shit and they just have a lot of subscribers on YouTube. Uh, you have no, yeah, yeah. I mean, but are they still popular? Because we were talking about that guy whose name was on Raymond, whatever. Forget about him. The account here, the Williams, some kind of that guy. All right. So he was the most popular, most subscribed, and most watched videos, and he makes every video like 10,000 at last advertisement because they pay money you if people watch your videos. And I haven't tried to do that thing, but unless you have very, very, very many people who promote your stuff, and unless you have very, very good camera, very, very good editing, very, very good, it's like any other things. You're not gonna get anything. Make like a you can make like a $10 in a month here or maximum here, but it's not really much occasional. So what happened? So you some lead us to in the light into the light to light LED. Okay. So okay. So okay. I okay. Okay. So uh okay. Yeah, I can't do it because I even though I'm interested, I know this stuff and I don't want to listen to this. Honest, I just don't want to listen to this stuff. I know this one, right? I what? Yeah. I already know about it. I don't want to listen again this one. I guess I know about this stuff. But I'm a little bit don't really care about it. Sorry to say, but I don't wanna. Okay, maybe other sample. I don't know, but it's not really amazing important. You like a share. What are you doing about with other humans like me? So maybe something else. I don't know. Just give me something. Ask me before you actually upload, because don't waste your time to upload it. Because if I don't want that thing, uh, you understand, right? Yeah. So just instead of uploading anything, just give us a link maybe, or I prefer just write the name and I can take a check out is something here, right? But don't upload that. Okay. Yeah, yeah, right. So I was like two over 10 years ago starting around here. When you have a computer, you can download any kind of the files internet, and you just spend so many hours just getting all the computer files, and you really never actually have enough time to watch all kind of movies because there is so many you can, and you never have a real time to take everything on. So you have a lot of free time. There's some people who actually like live on the homes and they never do anything else in their life. They're just download files, watching all kind of stuff here, and they like a lifestyle. Call their life just go for the stuff because it just takes so much occasion in your time. So it's gonna the microphone putting it off this gun line. Is it anywhere? Okay, so or mech here, occasion 3056. Cancel the 5-second echo here. Oh, here it goes there. We don't use shatter lines because it's a lame opinion. Okay, let's go on a response. Okay. Does it still happen? You had a problem here. In call. It's a very bad impossible here. Send feedback. Does that both in his thing? Okay. Maybe it's another time here. Yep. As soon as we young and I went to the youth to feel find a younger was a pork in a young killer line in a six book son. Oh, as good as I crash with it with the runs. Do this opportunity workers become Cooper safe transportation. Arbetet studiefonds eller vetenskap finns spänter because of det vilka boken basen för det skulle se become economic for a light days like become an actant or become a pilot here started good a flight and is now education and learn a language education the learn name could have worked in what pro they see that's good to the flows me to see this to see or more duties of education and therefore they actually sound like a decent idea what it right now. So the primary message board would probably young opinion looking forward to be safe and does if we have information advice to report information that the page is easy, maybe just for a crisis but she could avoid look at proper. It's just pouring because those are too slow for their interest. A lot of fun as when you are in town with a lot of potential action. And a plan with a lot of potential to be yes, that's when you are engaged for instance you can watch this call like this. That was the love of the lives of the case. She was here to be lazy and them show. A shop just checker as a from top of patient. And the puzzle makes it a look at thing at they made a mile high. Right. There's a bullshit stuff here. I'm at medication at the party, it's $90, this they call. Think that it will be cool, but the deal will be very often only you gotta use it. Very often excuse it and imagine the trouble the party crazy at all. They started paying an huge killing sense. Okay, it was really mentally damaging here. The party for it. I was trying that. It's not what used to. Unfortunately, it's no matter how much you try about it. You're running. A set of shoes depends to say so a lot. There's a concept from an author attendance here. There are these both persistence get themselves as well since that very much that plan or ace. So that last case I think you should definitely do to have a several points if we can get a function and just as a direct. I think no type of funds but going the crow cruise to one of the police and the park holidays and the 40 walkie found we report stuff out straight that's just a question that I use. Why he I got this video off questionnaire. Or what video it was. Okay. Now I need to take a look for okay.